Tonight on CTV News at 6. Fatal collision. 4 young people were killed in an ATV motor vehicle crash in Moonbeam. They're worried.
We aren't here to attack anybody. We're just here to demand the basics.
Some parents in Parry Sound are looking for answers into the status of a high school. And as Air Canada flight attendants refuse to head back to work.
I'm supposed to start a job on Wednesday. That's not going to happen.
Passengers are left wondering when they can get a flight to go home.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks so much for being with us on this Monday. The towns of Moonbeam and Kapuskasing are in mourning after the tragic deaths of 4 young people. Early Saturday morning, OPP responded to a collision involving an all-terrain vehicle and a commercial motor vehicle. Provincial police say the victims are one 16-year-old and 2 18-year-olds, all from Moonbeam, and a 20-year-old from Kapuskasing. CTV's Lydia Chubak will have more on this heartbreaking story at 11:30 tonight. Greater Sudbury police are on site tonight at a home invasion on Spruce Street. There's little information at this time, but neighbors and the person who looks after the building say one person was rushed to hospital with a suspected gunshot wound. The Pinto food store nearby was closed while police conducted a canine track. There's no word yet on the victim's condition or about the suspect. Timmins police are asking for the public's assistance after a shooting in the central part of the city. Police are requesting security or dash cam footage of the area between Algonquin Boulevard and 5th Avenue from Elm Street north to Cedar Street. Police say they were called to the area Saturday for a gunshot-related injury. They learned through their investigation about a suspicious vehicle in the area. They identified the vehicle and attempted to stop the driver on Sunday. The driver fled, crashing into a tree before stopping a while later. Police arrested a 30-year-old Timmins man who now faces 16 weapons, driving, and trafficking-related charges. But police say they're still trying to identify the shooter. Anyone with footage can submit it through their website at timminspolice.ca or using this QR code. Several municipalities across the Northeast have expressed concerns over the province's plans to spray a herbicide over Crown land. The township of Moonbeam was the first to sound the alarm on glyphosate in the north. Since then, West Nipissing and Sable's Spanish Rivers have passed motions to call on the province to reconsider. Glyphosate is the most widely used herbicide to control weeds, but there are growing concerns over environmental impacts and health risks. Moonbeam's council recently passed a similar motion. The mayor says the motion had plenty of support.
As a new mayor since October 3rd last year, my phone never rang as much. I spend minimum 2 hours a day talking to people from everywhere in the province. Calendar call, there's lots of other municipalities that are on the same page and they would like a change. So I hope this moves forward and we can do something about it.
Meanwhile, another rally was held in the north today to protest the use of glyphosate sprayed over forests. These concerned citizens spent several hours spreading their message on a highly visible corner in Greater Sudbury. They say this call to action is meant to inform others of the provincial plan to spray the herbicide over Crown land this summer. There are a number of petitions circulating, including one that Nickel Belt MPP Franck Gelina plans to present at Queen's Park. The group wants Sudbury City Council to intervene to stop the spraying of glyphosate, which they say has led to environmental impacts and health risks.
This is an important matter. We need to come together to represent our best interests, our best health, to represent the ecosystem, the environment, and to protect our forests. Because the system is failing us, and if the higher-ups in the government are not willing to hear us out and represent our best interests and our health, then we need to take control and do that for ourselves.
The Minister of Natural Resources says glyphosate has been evaluated by Health Canada. When CTV reached out for comment, we were directed to the Health Canada website, which states when glyphosate is used according to label instructions, it is not expected to pose risks of concerns to human health or the environment. A fire broke out in a hangar at the Timmins airport this morning. Multiple fire crews responded to the blaze that sparked in a hangar containing a vehicle and a small aircraft. No one was injured and flights were not disrupted by this morning's events. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Federal funding announced is going to allow more nursing students to be able to study in French. Collège Boreal will get $4.8 million from the Official Languages Health Program. The money was announced today by Sudbury MP Vivian Lapointe. She says the funding will help the post-secondary school increase the number of students enrolling in its auxiliary nursing program. She adds the investment is also meant to develop a strong bilingual workforce across the region that will improve access to health care for Francophones in the north. Well, a man has been fined for illegally camping on Crown land. A North Bay man was fined $2,500 for exceeding the 21-day camping limit last year. Conservation officers say the camper trailer was parked on Crown land near Notman Road for the whole summer, and the area around the camper was full of litter. To see more on this story and other local news, visit our website, CTVNewsNorthernOntario.ca. It's time for our first check on weather. A cooler day on this Monday. For more details, here's CTV's Lindsay Alick filling in for Rick Wyman. Hi there, Lindsay.
Hi there, Tony. Thank you so much. We are definitely seeing cooler temperatures across the Northeast, but as you can see with our temperatures board behind me here, we are not the only communities to be feeling those cooler temperatures. And although the autumn equinox is 35 days away, it's certainly feeling like fall across northeastern Ontario. But the good news is for those who love summer, those temperatures are going to bump right back up in the next couple of days. But we also could see a little bit of precipitation. So more weather details coming up in just a bit. But for now, send it back over to you.
Thanks for that, Lindsay. Parents want answers. Still to come on CTV News at 6, a rally in Parry Sound last Friday over the status of some schools. Right now, though, let's head to Parry Sound. This is a live webcam shot of downtown. It's mainly sunny and 22 Celsius. We are back in just a few minutes.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Parents in Parry Sound rallied last Friday to get answers from the Near North District School Board. Details right now from CTV's Madison Merrier.
The original plan was to have all students attend the newly constructed Parry Sound High School, but the construction of the new school remains incomplete, and now kindergarten to grade 6 students will be attending McDougall Public School. Grades 7 through 8 will attend the recently closed Nobel Public School, and grades 9 through 12 will be at the partially demolished Parry Sound High School for the school year, and that had them out rallying for answers on Friday.
We're going into a school that could be unsafe and no one's checked, like no engineers or anything has checked to make sure it is safe for us to go back in.
And as parents, our number one concern is the safety and well-being of the students returning to school in a safe environment. And they just can't seem to answer those questions.
The Near North District School Board released an updated contingency plan late Friday afternoon that said no structural changes were made to McDougall or Nobel Public Schools, but it said nothing about the structural integrity of Parry Sound High School.
We aren't here to attack anybody. We're just here to demand the basics, which are clear answers, proven safety, realistic timelines, and honest communication.
The building project received nearly $60 million from the provincial government. Local MPP Graydon Smith expressed his disappointment in a written statement saying there were clear expectations that the money would get the project done on time, adding, that commitment was made to ensure West Parry Sound students would learn in a modern, fully equipped facility, not face a scenario that is now unclear, uncertain, and unacceptable. The school board's vice chair, Howard Wesley, attended the rally Friday, explaining that they have been working on the project for some time and expressed their concerns about the timeline to the province.
I think people should know that this has been a long-term process and that our board back in last October reached out to the ministry with our concerns about the build and about the size of the build, and literally that was we did not get a response back from them until the minister came on site to visit with us.
The facility is still in question, and the school board has yet to respond to parents and to CTV regarding the concerns that Parents for Parry Sound addressed. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Parry Sound.
Recent drownings across the country are a tragic reminder of the importance of water safety. The family of 2 siblings who drowned this summer in Dryden in northwestern Ontario is advocating for more awareness and swimming lessons for young children. CTV's Alex Karpa reports.
They were really close. He loved his little sister.
July 30th, 2025 was a day Stacey Grant will never forget.
That phone call, I replay it in my head every day. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. It should never have happened.
15-year-old Caden Grant and his 12-year-old sister Jocelyn drowned in the Wabigoon River in Dryden, Ontario. Stepmother Heather Dodd says Jocelyn fell in first.
When she submerged, her brother, who also did not have very strong swimming skills, went in after her to try to rescue her. And unfortunately, he succumbed to the water as well.
Approximately 460 people fatally drown in Canada each year. This according to the Life Saving Society of Canada, and over 50 of those are children under the age of 14. To combat this, the family is launching a foundation called Water Wings. It's aimed at raising awareness about the importance of water safety for school-aged children. Grandfather Michael Williams is now petitioning Ontario Premier Doug Ford to bring swimming lessons back into the elementary school curriculum.
The problem is that it's being offered only as an opt-in basis, whereas I think it should be the other way around. It should be opt-out. So it should be a negative option. So schools have to do it unless they have a valid reason why they can't do it.
Heather says she will do anything she can to bring forth awareness.
You don't want to be in our position. You don't want to ever feel what we feel.
Stacey, Heather, and Michael are hoping their family's story will help prevent future tragedies so others won't have to go through the same grief they are currently experiencing. Alex Karpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The Association of Municipalities of Ontario conference is underway in Ottawa. The convention is an opportunity for municipal officials to collaborate on solutions to challenges in their communities. Officials from the District of Nipissing Social Services Board are there. DSAB says it has secured meetings with 6 provincial ministries to advance key priorities within its mandate.
Got out of a meeting with the Deputy Premier Sylvia Jones talking about health care and doctor recruitment. It's only really in their best interest to listen to it and to try and find ways of solving the problem.
To supplement advocacy done by individual district social services boards, the Northern Ontario Service Deliverers Association will also advocate for issues that impact member organizations across Northern Ontario. 2 more northern beer stores are shutting down. The beer stores in Little Current and Noelville will close October 19th, along with another 10 sites across the province. The beer store's vice president of retail said in a news release that the closures are part of a modernizing to meet the changing marketplace. This follows 2 closures in Greater Sudbury's Azilda and Levack communities last month. As these closures continue, there are fewer places to return your empties. Starting January 1st, the province is requiring every store that sells beer and wine to also accept empty cans in its recycling program. The problem is a lot of grocery stores aren't equipped to run the program, and the Retail Council of Canada says that's prompting some Ontario retailers to consider dropping the sale of alcohol. As of right now, more than 400 grocery and convenience stores are participating in the recycling program. Back now for a check on your current conditions. Here's Lindsay.
Thanks, Tony. We're seeing mostly cloudy skies across the Northeast, but some peaks of the sun right now at this hour. It's a great evening to go out for a walk, but you might actually need a jacket or an extra sweater, especially after all of that hot and humid weather the last couple of weeks. Many people aren't used to these temperatures outside right now across the Northeast, sitting at 17 degrees in Sault Ste. Marie, 19 in Chapleau, 20 degrees in Kapuskasing, 18 degrees in Elliott Lake, nothing but sunshine on Manitoulin Island at 19 degrees, 18 degrees in both Sudbury, North Bay, as well as Temiskaming Shores, 22 degrees in Parry Sound right now. We are going to start to see those temperatures warm up over the next couple of days, but we could see a little bit of precipitation, as I mentioned earlier in the show. Full weather details in your 7-day forecast coming up in just a bit, but for now, it's back over to you, Tony.
Thanks, Lindsay. A glimmer of hope for Air Canada passengers next on CTV News at 6. The airline CEO is hoping to have flights resume tomorrow. Stay tuned on that. Plus, the Conservative leader hopes to win a by-election in an Alberta riding. Another day of travel turbulence as Air Canada flight attendants defy a back-to-work order and remain out on strike. It's a strike the Labour Relations Board today deemed illegal. It comes as hundreds more flights have been cancelled, with hundreds of thousands of passengers in limbo. CTV's Heather Wright reports.
For the third straight day, Air Canada flight attendants are on the pavement rather than in the skies, defying orders to return to work.
And if it means folks like me going to jail, then so be it. If it means our union being fined, then so be it.
The Canada Industrial Relations Board ordered the roughly 10,000 Air Canada flight attendants to return to work yesterday, after the federal jobs minister asked the Labour Board to intervene just hours into the strike.
When the government came in and tried to stop our strike 12 hours after we started, we decided that that was not enough to put pressure on Air Canada to come back to the table. That's all we want. Air Canada, come back to the table.
At issue, wages and unpaid work. Flight attendants are only paid for the hours they work in the air, which doesn't include boarding and other on-the-ground duties. The airline has offered a pay increase of 17.2% over 4 years, which the company's CEO calls an excellent offer.
That will result in our flight attendants being the best compensated flight attendants in Canada, bar none.
But the union says that increase doesn't account for inflation over the last decade.
Starting flight attendants now are making $1,900 a month in an area where rent is $2,000.
The job action has left roughly 500,000 passengers stranded, many unsure when they will be able to get home.
I'm supposed to start a job on Wednesday. That's not going to happen.
Today, the Prime Minister weighed in, calling the impasse disappointing.
I urge both parties to resolve this as quickly as possible, and the Minister will have more to say. Minister Hyde will have more to say later.
The union is challenging the back-to-work order in court, so it's unclear how much longer this strike might last. Some estimating it is costing the airline about $60 million a day. Heather Wright, CTV News, Mississauga, Ontario.
In the meantime, for some families, the strike is creating heartache far beyond our borders. A man at the Windsor International Airport is trying to find a way to get his mother home from Lebanon and can't get any answers because he says Air Canada's website keeps crashing. CTV's Chris Campbell has that story.
Our budget is tight and we don't know what to do.
At Windsor International Airport, flights may look normal, but behind the check-in counters, Air Canada's flight attendant strike is leaving some travelers in limbo.
How long we can wait? We can wait like 10 days, 5 days, but I don't know when she will come back.
Mo Zugaib's mother has been stranded in Lebanon since Saturday when her flight to Montreal was suddenly cancelled. Now they're trying to get some answers and a way home.
So we were supposed to leave yesterday and land today, this morning, but we're now not scheduled to fly until Friday, landing on Saturday.
Others like Emily from England are stranded in Windsor, waiting for the strike to resolve.
Sure, it's fortunate in a way because we can spend more time with our family here. I think we're just lucky that we weren't on like a kind of like an all-inclusive or booking a hotel, because then it would be very difficult, and I think we'd be stressing a lot more than we are now.
It's a pretty fluid situation and dynamic, so check your connections, check where you're going, check the flight you're on, check all of your flight numbers to make sure that you know what's happening. And of course, obviously, if you're getting emails from the airline itself letting you know, that's also important.
Windsor International Airport President and CEO Mark Galvin says local flights aren't cancelled, but connecting passengers are feeling the effects. He urges everyone to keep checking their flight status as the situation can suddenly change.
Our phone's been ringing off the hook.
The president of Valente Travel, Al Valente, says it's been busy trying to keep up with the fluid situation, advising anyone caught up in the mix to not make any rash decisions.
This is just complete turmoil. That's all the word to describe it. It's a mess, but hopefully we'll get back to some normalcy in the next couple of days.
And that was Chris Campbell reporting. Prime Minister Mark Carney and Ontario Premier Doug Ford have wrapped up their meeting in Ottawa today. While this was a casual meeting meant to keep the two leaders up to speed, Ford says the two leaders share a common message.
We know that we need to cut the regulatory burdens off of companies, lower taxes, put money back into people's pockets, support companies that need investment to grow and expand here. We're united on the message of let's start worrying about how we can be competitive here. Donald Trump is so unpredictable. I don't even know if he knows what he's doing tomorrow morning. So let's start focusing on creating that environment.
This one-on-one is seen as an opportunity for the two to get up to speed ahead of the fall sittings of the House of Commons and the provincial legislature. Voters in an Alberta riding are casting ballots today in a closely watched by-election. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is running in the riding of Battle River Crowfoot, trying to regain his seat in the House of Commons. Poilievre is widely expected to win the riding, which is considered to be the second safest riding for Conservatives in the country. The expectations are high that Poilievre will not only win the riding, but will win it decisively.
If he doesn't have, as I say, somewhere around 80, he may exceed the 83 or nearly 83% that Damien Carrick got there. But if he doesn't get somewhere in that range, this has never been won by less than 70%. If he's closer to 70, people are going to start to say, well, if he can't even win a decisive victory in the second safest riding in the country, can he really lead the entire country to victory in a future election?
And there's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Lindsay.
Thanks, Tony. We're seeing mostly cloud cover across the northeast at this hour, and we could see a little bit of rainfall as we head into those overnight hours and certainly into tomorrow, but nothing too significant in terms of rainfall totals. Let's take a closer look at our forecast radar at this hour. As you can see, mostly cloud cover across the northeast. We're going to start to see this pocket of precipitation around Sault Ste. Marie and Manitoulin Island around 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Then we could see a few pockets of precipitation around Chapleau, Timmins, and Kapuskasing around the lunchtime hour. Those showers will move out of the region fairly quickly, but as you can see with these little cells of precipitation, most communities could see at least a little bit of shower activity tomorrow and into Wednesday. Let's take a look at overnight conditions tonight. A chance of showers in Sudbury, 14 degrees overnight in Sault Ste. Marie, 10 degrees in Timmins, a chilly 8 degrees in Timiskaming Shores, 13 degrees overnight tonight in North Bay. In Moosonee, partly cloudy skies, 10 degrees in Kapuskasing Hearst, a chance of a thunderstorm in both Wawa and Manitoulin Island over Gore Bay, and partly cloudy over Parry Sound. Now let's take a closer look at the next 7 days, beginning with Sudbury Nickel Belt. 40% chance of showers for tomorrow, a high of 20 degrees. We get back to around seasonal temperatures on Wednesday, and it looks like a gorgeous rest of the work week. However, we could see some showers move in on Saturday. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, 40% chance of some showers tomorrow. Mostly cloudy skies for the most part, a high of 20 degrees. We get back to around that seasonal mark on Wednesday. Sunshine on Thursday, all the way up to 26 degrees. But as you see, as the showers roll in on Friday, it's definitely going to cool things off again. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, 40% chance of showers tomorrow. Also going to see some sunny breaks in there, a high of 19 degrees. Definitely cooling off in the evening, a low of 12 degrees. As we head into Wednesday, cloud cover dominates the forecast. Thursday could see a little bit of sunshine before some shower activity rolls in just in time for the weekend. Timiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, 30% chance of showers for your Tuesday, a high of 19 degrees. Again, a similar weather story here. You're going to see that temperature rise just a few degrees as we head into Wednesday, but all the way up to 26 both Thursday and Friday with those partly sunny skies. Showers possible as we head into both Saturday and Sunday. And finally, North Bay, West Nipissing, 40% chance of showers, a high of 20 degrees. But we see that temperature dip overnight to a low of 14 degrees. As we head into Wednesday, cloud cover takes over the forecast, and we're sitting right around that seasonal mark, 23 degrees. Temperature warms up just a few degrees as we head into Thursday and Friday, and sunshine continues. However, as you can see, rainfall moves in time for the weekend, and it's certainly going to cool those temperatures off once again. That's a look at your 7-day forecast. Now it's time to take a look at your photo of the day. Thank you so much to Brett Booth for sending in this great shot in Webwood. Take a look at those gorgeous sunflowers and the little stream there, and just the gorgeous sunshine coming through the trees. If you have a photo that you want to share with us, be sure to do that. You can find out on how to send a weather photo of the day over on our website, and you can also find us over on social media. That is a look at your 7-day forecast and photo of the day. Stick around, more CTV News right after this quick break.
It was one of the first fairs held along the north shore of Lake Huron. The Iron Bridge Agricultural Society is gearing up for its fall fair on Saturday. The theme this year is Back to Our Roots. To talk more about the big day, let's bring in the Mayor of Huron Shores, Jane Armstrong. She now joins us from Ottawa. She's there for the Association of Municipalities of Ontario conference. Hi there, Jane.
Hi, Tony.
Give our viewers an idea of the jam-packed Saturday that you have.
Yeah, we have lots of stuff planned for this Saturday. We have our first annual car and bike show that'll be taking place, and we're going to have our parade at 11 o'clock and have the cars come into the rec center from that. And then we also have our magician back again. Last year we had magician Mel and Bentastic. They're going to be there again this year with 3 shows, as well as their foam party for the kids, which is lots of fun. The kids just love running and jumping in the foam. And then, of course, we have our agriculture exhibits, and we have a lot of vendors. Our Secretary Treasurer Nancy Richards tells us that we have over 20 vendors this year, which is really awesome. And of course, we have lots of kids' activities and the Chilean stew contest that everybody looks forward to every year. And this year, MPP Bill Rosenberg's going to be our judge for the chili and the stew.
Okay. Why is it so important to host this fall fair?
It's really important just to remind our community members of our agricultural roots, how important agriculture is and continues to be in our life. And it brings the community together, and it's always just a really fun time seeing people that you haven't seen since last year, and just a really good community event.
You mentioned agriculture. You know, it's still playing a big role in the area, especially with the push to shop local and buy Canadian. What is your sense from the public and the residents?
It's really big. We used to have quite a few people. We're not very far from the border, so a lot of people would go across the border to shop, and there's really not a lot of that. A lot of people are saying that they haven't been over in almost a year and they have no plans to go back, so it's really nice. It's good for our local vendors, and we definitely see an uptick in purchases when people do attend those local farmers markets and vendor shows.
Jane, thanks so much for being with us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Jane Armstrong, the Mayor of Huron Shores, joined us from Ottawa. And to learn more about the Iron Bridge Fall Fair, head online to ibAgSociety.com. The Canadian Real Estate Association says Sudbury had a record-setting July in housing sales. The number of houses sold and the price of a home has increased 5.5% since the start of the year. The CERA says the dollar value of all homes sold in the Nickel City was a whopping $149.8 million, a 13.5% 5% increase over last July. Timmins also saw a jump in home sales of 16.4% over this time last year and saw a 23.2% increase in total value of homes sold. The average price of a home in Timmins has stayed relatively even throughout 2025, increasing just 0.9% since January. And just like our local numbers, a new report from the Canada Housing Mortgage Corporation shows housing starts for July were up across the country compared to a year earlier. CTV's Maria Saru has details.
Homes are taking shape across Charlottetown, construction crews working hard. For its size, PEI is building at roughly double the national rate, according to the newest numbers.
We're small, but we're very resilient. We like to get things done.
But like other provinces, the island can't keep up with demand or the pace needed to restore pre-pandemic affordability by 2035, according to the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation. In July, Canada's home building was 4% faster than in June, at about 294,000 homes per year. But that's still far from the CMHC's affordability benchmark of 430,000 to 480,000 home starts per year. This home I'm standing in is a work in progress, greenlit well before today. One of the reasons for the building bump is that pre-planned projects like this one are going ahead. But the National Housing Agency says that doesn't reflect current investor appetite. In fact, the CMHC is projecting a slowdown later this year.
We've been in a context where the economy has been quite uncertain. We've been facing geopolitical uncertainty as well.
While tariffs and higher costs are making homes harder to finance, the Construction Association of PEI's executive director says there are bigger challenges.
Shortage of skilled people will continue to be a problem, in the years to come.
So builders here say they need more help to turn frames into finished homes. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
A project to bring over 1,000 acres of solar farming to the Soo is in the works, and residents can soon learn more about it. PUC Services is holding an open house tomorrow evening to inform the community about 2 solar generation projects in the West End. CTV's Corey Nordstrom has more.
This field just west of Sault Ste. Marie could have a very different look by the end of the decade. It may resemble this, as PUC Services is looking to create its first large-scale solar generation project. The province forecasts that 75% more electricity will be needed in the next 25 years, and officials believe this aids both Ontario and the city's needs.
In total for the 2 projects that are proposed, we're looking at around 230 megawatts. So to put that into perspective, the city peaks at about 120 megawatts. So these projects are quite significant.
The 2 projects west of the city are located in the Lees Bay and Carpin Bay area, as well as north of the airport, representing 190 and 970 gross acres respectively. The site search for these parcels has taken much of the initial 6 months of the early stages of the work.
Part of it is looking at the interconnection and where they're located in proximity to our distribution system as well as our transmission system. So that was important in looking at the parcels of land. We also wanted to avoid any prime agricultural land, and so these locations also fit that bill.
While some people may find a solar farm or a wind farm not as attractive as some other thing on the landscape, I personally drive by and I say, that has got to be part of the future. We have to make a commitment to make change. And part of that change is to go renewable energy.
PUC is hosting an open house on the projects at the Northern Community Centre on Tuesday from 5 to 7 p.m. Clean North officials say they are excited to learn more and for the city to bolster its clean energy reputation.
We are teetering on the brink of catastrophic climate change, and we need to do better. We need to do more. So this is one way that is viable.
If all goes to plan, PUC will submit their applications to the IESO in October and hear back by next April. If approved, construction would begin in the summer of 2028 and the solar projects would be operational in 2030. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
He's a future doctor. Still ahead on CTV News at 6. A Nossum University student wins a prestigious award in Canada.
Clothing consideration provided by
Fashion Fair. Beautiful clothing for today's woman, where quality makes the difference.
Welcome back. You're watching CTV News at 6. I'm Tony Ryma. This report comes as parents and students are getting ready to go back to school. Getting your kids the latest gear, from school supplies to tech tools to new sneakers, can come with a hefty price tag. Personal finance expert Jessica Moorhouse has some tips on how to talk to your kids about the importance of budgeting when it comes to high-cost items.
It is a very stressful time back to school shopping because it happens a lot quicker than we think. Everything's a lot more expensive than we think. And then, of course, the kids come and be like, but I want this, I want this. And so it's really important to set those boundaries. You are the parent, and it is also your money, so you know what you can and cannot afford. But also, kids are so smart these days. They do actually know about money a lot more than you expect. And so it's so important to involve them when it comes to budgeting for back to school season.
Most students in the north head back to class in just over 2 weeks, September 3rd. Drivers in Ontario are legally required to have liability coverage as part of their auto insurance, and most pay extra for collision and comprehensive coverage. Comprehensive insurance will repair your car in the event it's vandalized, but you'll still be on the hook to pay the deductible. Here's CTV's Pat Foran and Consumer Alert.
Randomly, someone just attacks you. Attacks a vehicle.
Rana Mashoud of Scarborough says he was returning home after a night out with friends when he was stopped at a red light. That's when a woman, without warning, started kicking the front of his vehicle.
She made a hand gesture, like as if she was pointing a gun. And then she ran up to my vehicle and started kicking it.
Mashoud says in a matter of seconds, his car was extremely damaged.
My whole front bumper, my grill is broken, my camera is broken. I have my sensors that are damaged. One of my headlights is gone.
He called the police and the woman was arrested, but he was upset to find out he would have to pay the $500 deductible, even though he feels he did nothing wrong.
You're the one who has to pay your own deductible because this is not another vehicle that hit you. It was a pedestrian.
Mashoud is insured with Allstate, and a spokesperson told CTV News deductibles are a standard component of many auto insurance policies, and that where possible, Allstate will pursue recovery from the responsible party and reimburse the customer's deductible if successful.
It is very standard in every auto insurance policy where you have optional physical damage coverage that there is a deductible.
The Insurance Bureau of Canada says while Mashoud will have to pay the deductible, he can try to get the person to reimburse him by going to court.
There is the potential of the driver taking the offender to small claims court to recoup their deductible.
Mashoud says he feels it's unfair that a person can vandalize his car and not have to pay to repair it.
As just innocent person, it doesn't make any sense to not only have my vehicle damaged, but at the same time be liable for a deductible.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Well, doctors are seeing a growing number of non-smokers with lung cancer. The Canadian Cancer Society estimates a quarter of people with lung cancer never smoked. The society says exposure to radon is the #1 cause of lung cancer among non-smokers. Health Canada says the gas is present to some degree in every home and urges Canadians to check their levels with a radon test kit. Secondhand smoke and air pollution are other risk factors. Medical professionals say it's important to consider lung cancer when non-smokers have a cough that won't go away. A BC man is running across the country doing an ultra-marathon or 50 kilometers a day with the goal of raising $1 million for mental health services. Over the weekend, he made a stop in Ottawa. CTV's Kimberly Johnson caught up with him.
Sachin Laddie says running saved his life.
I was struggling a great deal about 5 years ago with my mental health. Ended up having a major depressive episode, so it all kind of came to a head.
The former border service agent from BC says by running, he was able to find purpose.
Running for me is community connection and movement. So I'm moving, I get to connect with people, and I get to create a community around me.
Now he's running across the country, aiming to raise awareness and $1 million for mental health initiatives. The journey from BC to Newfoundland is done by running an ultra marathon a day. That's 50 kilometers every day.
I think the mental health crisis that Canadians are feeling right now is an existential crisis. So I think it's extremely important that we talk about it, that we do something about it, and that we engage community with it.
According to Statistics Canada, nearly 1 in 5 people over the age of 15 experience mental health issues.
Getting them to be active helps them with school, helps them with relationship.
On Sunday, Laddie was joined by youth and members of the Ottawa Police Service running 5 kilometers in the nation's capital. Randy Gill is with Their Opportunity. It's one of the charities Laddie is raising money for, which creates programs for underserviced youth to join athletic programs.
It's important for us to get the word out how important physical health and well-being is as much as mental health and well-being. It's connected.
Ottawa Police Deputy Chief Paul Burnett says this advocacy work is vital for first responders.
We're running towards danger when others are running away. So managing that on a daily basis can be a struggle for our members.
63 days in, the journey leaving an impression.
It's truly inspiring.
To be honest, I could never do that, but to have somebody who cares so much about others' mental health, it's great to see.
The entire journey is expected to take more than 80 days.
People are struggling every single day. This is super important, and we're not stopping.
Kimberly Johnson, CTV News.
A medical student from Manitoulin Island is one of 16 to receive a prestigious award. Nossum University student Matthew Redman was awarded the Canadian Medical Hall of Fame Award. It's given to second-year med students who demonstrate leadership and academic excellence. Redman was recognized for his research roles, work as a student president, and charity work.
It's inspiring to be recognized among such an incredible group of students from across the country. So many of them are doing incredible work, and so many students that aren't recognized in this award are doing incredible work. So to be seen amongst my peers in this way is really quite an honor. And it is quite an honor, too, to be able to represent Nossum University and Manitoulin Island in this way as well.
Award recipients receive $5,000. Redman will accept his honor at ceremonies in Calgary next year. 2 stars return to the Scary Movie franchise. Here's David Daniel with this evening's Hollywood Minute.
I'm in the house. Do you know where I am?
You're behind the couch. I can see your feet.
Scary Movie brings back 2 of its original stars. Anna Faris and Regina Hall are set to reunite for a new installment in the horror spoof franchise. Returning writer and star Marlon Wayans announced the news on Instagram. The 6th film in the series is due to land in theaters next summer. Kristen Wiig lends her voice to a heroic new film. The actress will voice mechanical warrior Roboto in the latest big screen adaptation of Masters of the Universe, according to The Hollywood Reporter. Based on the popular 1980s toy line, the movie is due in theaters in June. Classic scares return to the big screen. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is back in theaters nationwide tonight only. The event kicks off Fathom Entertainment's Fright Fest 2025 and coincides with the day in which the events of the beloved horror film take place. In Hollywood, I'm David Ding.
The number of Air Canada flights being cancelled is growing, so is the cost of this strike. BNN Bloomberg's Mirella Fernandez has more on that and other business headlines.
Analysts are crunching the numbers and estimate the strike could cost Air Canada $200 million, even if the action ends this week. That estimate coming from Canaccord Genuity. The strike has led Air Canada to suspend its financial forecast for 2025. The company had predicted it would make between $3.2 and $3.6 billion in 2025. Now, shares in Air Canada dropped today by almost 3%. Here's how the trading day ended. The Canadian dollar is slightly up today to 72.44. West Texas Intermediate moved up to 63.42. Our fix on Western Canadian Select has it down to 50.33. And not a lot of movement on the TSX. It dropped 17 points. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
And here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold down $2, closing the day at $3,333 US an ounce. Silver up 6 cents to end the day just over $38. Copper down 2 cents. And nickel down 2 cents, ending the day at $6.73 US a pound. And Lindsay is back now for one last look at your Tuesday weather.
Feeling a little bit warmer tomorrow, Tony, but there is a chance of showers across the northeast throughout the day. Taking a look first at Sudbury, a high of 20 degrees expected, sitting at 19 degrees for your daytime high in Timmins, and a humid index of 26 in Sault Ste. Marie. Heading over to North Bay, 40% chance of showers there, a high of 22 in Parry Sound with the risk of a thunderstorm, and we could see a high UV index in Temiskaming Shores with a high of 19 degrees.
Thanks for that, Lindsay. Hundreds of spectators line the shorelines of Georgian Bay, drawn by the breathtaking sight of tall, extravagant ships gracing Midland Harbor. These historic vessels, part of the annual Tall Ships Festival, provided a spectacular display of nautical beauty and precision sailing. The event delivered both a visual feast and a touch of maritime tradition to an enthralled crowd along Ontario's waters.
It was a lot of fun.
It's just we're looking up at the masts and climbing up those things and how brave they'd be, right? It's unbelievable that that's what they use to travel.
The waterfront was alive with music, entertainment, and local vendors surrounding the Midland Harbor. $1 turned into $100,000 for a Powassan man. Larry Hubley said yes to Encore and matched the last 6 of 7 Encore numbers in the May 30th Lotto Max draw. Larry plans to save for the future, invest, and share with family. And more lottery winners to tell you about. Dorothy and Barry Burtnick of Sudbury are $50,000 richer after winning with instant casino night. The winning ticket was purchased at Smitty's Convenience Plus on Regent Street. By the way, Barry once worked here at CTV. He was a longtime director. Congratulations to both of you. And folks, that's CTV News at 6. I'm Tony Ryma. Thanks so much for watching. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Amanda Hicks. Good night.